All right, we are back. It is Super Bowl week. There ain't nothing better here. I love it, I love it, I love it. By the way, that's Brock Purdy. Look at my man Brock Purdy, still looking all good. Apparently, Brock Purdy is now nearing a decision on what to do with his busted elbow. And there's one of two choices. I did go to medical school, so I can walk you through it. You can either repair it or you can reconstruct it.
Yes.
There's no difference, really, outside of the recovery time. If you reconstruct it, what you do is they go out and they find a dead guy, and they take the ligaments from a dead guy, and they put those ligaments in your body, and they reconstruct your whole elbow situation thing there, right?
You're relatively close.
If you repair it, I think they take like bazooka gum and they attach it, and then it grafts itself onto the ligament, and then you're good. Here's the difference. If you repair it, you're back playing football in 6 months. If you reconstruct it, then you're talking a year plus until you're throwing a football again. If you're Brock Purdy and you haven't made any money yet, and you're coming off this ridiculous run where you're the hot girl in town, you repair that bad boy so you get your ass back on the field. That being said, I believe we have some sound of Ronnie Lott, the great Ronnie Lott, talking about who Brock Purdy reminds him of. Joe Namath?
Maybe.
Oh, he must mean Joe Montana, the most overrated quarterback in the history of the NFL. Not named Troy Aikman, of course. So he does have Joe Montana in him, which means he's talking about his demeanor, right? Calm, cool, collected. Was never known as having the greatest arm in football, but damn was the most accurate quarterback in football. And Brock Purdy obviously had a lot of that. It's funny, though, that Joe Montana's name comes up because when Ronnie Lott speaks and references Joe Montana, it's almost like, when you put the bat signal out in the sky and Batman sees it and calls Commissioner Gordon up, how can I help you this time? It must have been the worst police force in the world, by the way. In any event, Joe Montana heard his name. He goes, let me take these Skechers off and respond.
Why do you have to take the Skechers off?
Because they don't have to cover your back. We all know that's nonsense.
Shape-ups, man.
In any event.
That's why I look so good.
Joe Montana did comment on the quarterback situation in San Francisco, and he doesn't think Brock Purdy should be the guy. So now look, Jimmy Garoppolo is not coming back. Joe Montana obviously is blissfully unaware of the contract status. Of what's going on there. But when you're retired and drinking Mai Tais all day, you forget some things, I guess. Jimmy Garoppolo's out of there, but he does make a good point, and that is the concept of who wins, right? So you've put a lot of draft capital into Trey Lance. Brock Purdy shocked everybody playing in the season that no one ever thought he'd get on the field, right? But Jimmy Garoppolo won games. And what I get from Montana there is it's not a knock on Trey Lance, who clearly is going to be given another opportunity, injury-free, to be their starting quarterback. But there is something to be said about the dude wins a lot, meaning Jimmy Garoppolo. And why would you turn your back and walk away from a guy who may not be the prettiest guy athletically, may not be the best runner, may not have the best arm, but there's something to be said for a guy that wins. And I think that's what Montana's saying.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. But if I'm Kyle Shanahan, which I'm not, and I don't really have to be, I can't hitch everything to Jimmy again. He's been injured almost every single season.
Great point.
For me, the wins come at a cost, and they're limited. We've never seen Jimmy Garoppolo just smooth sail through a season in its totality. So, that's what you're thinking about if you're Kyle Shanahan. If that were not the case, if injuries aside, if he wasn't so riddled with injuries, yeah, why not?
Right.
But you can't. Guys always get labeled something.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, yes. Is he a winner? Yes.
It's really
San
Francisco historically is also interesting because there's so many franchises that have not had legitimate quarterbacks. I root for one of them. In the New York Jets. And we're talking about different regimes even. But when you consider the fact that they had Alex Smith, who was a big-time winner for them.
Yep.
They turned their back on him for Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick goes to a Super Bowl. They turn their back on him. Now, you could argue he also turned his back on them contractually, but they walked away from Colin Kaepernick, right? Jimmy Garoppolo does nothing but win. They turn their back on him, and now you've got Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. It's fascinating that they've had 5 quarterbacks now who all win, and they turn their back on all of them. It makes no, I haven't had a single quarterback in my lifetime, and you suckers have had 5 of them.
And you even bring up Joe Montana.
And you say no to every one of them. Right? It's not right.
Said no to Elvis Gerbach.
You probably need some management change.
That's why I talk to
Maybe
a therapist every week. And every week he's like, we're not talking about the Jets again, are we, Craig? You're damn right we are. You're damn right we are. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be a Jet.
No.
Derek Carr may not want to be a Jet.
He will.
I'm going to get saddled with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Maybe.
I know where this is going.
Well, at least you get some wins.
You get a winner.
And then he's going to get hurt in week 6, and Zach Wilson's going to be back.
That is exactly why Kyle Shanahan's like, Jimmy, what about Jimmy? Nope.
It all kicks off Super Bowl Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.